Alright, so I have just 3 little words for you. And those 3 words are worth watching Wednesdays. Alright, so tonight I'm going to be talking about The Truman Show, starring Jim Carrey, Laura Linney, and Ed Harris. It came out in 1998, and the reason I'm going to be talking about this movie is because I feel like it's kind of been forgotten by a lot of people. And it really shouldn't have been, because it's a really great movie. The plot of the movie revolves around Jim Carrey's character named Truman. He's kind of an average guy living a very average life. He has a wife and they live in this little house in a little suburb by the ocean. And essentially everything in his life is so perfectly normal that it's almost too normal, like something feels a little off. And what you end up finding out is that his entire life, practically from the day he was born, has been a TV show. Like, he is being filmed every second of every day. All of his friends are actors, they all are all in on it. Every situation he's in is controlled and directed. His entire town that he lives in is inside a giant soundstage. And he is the only one who doesn't know that his life is a TV show. And the main villain of the movie is played by Ed Harris. His name is Christoph. He's the director of this whole TV show. And his concept of why he wanted to start it was that he thought people were bored with regular television with actors in contrived situations. So he wanted to make a show where the main actor was not an actor, but was just a normal person. Nothing was scripted. All of the situations happened naturally, and people would just get to watch 24 hours a day if they wanted to. Someone just grow up and live their life on TV. Which is a really interesting concept for a TV show, but it's also the most terrifying thing that anyone has ever described. It's like the definition of legitimate paranoia. Everyone is watching me. Everyone I know is in on it. Everywhere I go I'm being watched, and everyone in the entire world sees me when I sleep. So it's a really chilling concept, but somehow the film handles it in a way that it's not super depressing and dark and creepy and weird. It's actually a really entertaining movie. It is also really quirky. It's even funny at some points. But most of all, the film is really thought-provoking. Like, you think throughout the entire movie, and then for like a week afterwards, you're just thinking about it going, huh, that's really interesting. Because it is, and that's something you don't get a lot these days anymore with movies. It's just these really interesting original concepts that just leave you happily thinking about it for weeks afterwards. And Jim Carrey's acting in the movie is fantastic too. He actually plays a fairly serious character because the movie's not a comedy. And yes, he's still kind of quirky and does some funny things, but the things he does are not for the sake of making him a funny comedic character. It just gives you this great chance to empathize with him and instantly like him and latch onto him and really feel for the guy, because he's just a normal guy trying to lead a normal life, and he's being watched every second of the way as he does it. And Ed Harris is, of course, fantastic as the villain. Laura Linney's very good. She plays Truman's on-screen wife, like his wife in the show, which is really interesting because her character is madly in love with him, but she doesn't necessarily actually like him all the time. So her character has that extra level, and that's really nice to see. Also, the movie does a really great job of preventing you from ever thinking, this is ridiculous, no one would ever buy this, he'd figure it out 10 minutes, he's a grown man, he'd understand it. The movie deals with that really well, because about halfway through there's an interview with Ed Harris's character where there are a bunch of phone callers calling about the show. And one of the questions that's asked is, why has Truman never figured out that he's in a show? And the answer that Ed Harris gives completely sums it up. He just says, because we accept the reality that we're presented with. And that's really true when you think about it. Like, this is where he lived when he was 2. It's all he's ever known. Now he's 35 and it's still all he ever knows. It's just normal for him. The movie also has a fantastic soundtrack. It's composed by Philip Glass, who ironically also plays the composer for the TV show in the movie. So overall, the movie's really good. It's got a great original plot. It makes you think for weeks afterwards. The actors are fantastic and portray very well-written characters within the movie that bring it all together and help you completely suspend your disbelief and just go, yeah, this feels plausible, this feels like it could actually happen, and not just like, this is ridiculous for the entire movie. So on a scale of 1 to 10, I would give the movie an 8 because it's really well worth a watch. It's really interesting, very thought-provoking, very entertaining. If you haven't seen it yet, I would give it a watch. I hope you like it. Alright, so that's it. Thank you for watching. Leave a like, subscribe if you'd like to see more, leave a comment down below of what you'd like to see me review next week, or I'll just pick yet another one from my own collection. Have a great day.